What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. We got a data download on Global, and as you're seeing on screen right now, we've got a new Sugo-Fest coming, question mark? Like, this is the most obscure thing that we just didn't expect to happen. We have global first units arriving on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. Obviously, we know about Sengoku and Garp, and we'll go through that a little bit later in this video because we now have the full information as to what they do, and they are fan-freaking-tastic. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited for Sengoku and Garp because they are insanely good units. But in this video, before we get to the Sengoku and Garp stuff, we're going to talk about what we're talking about right now, which is going to be the brand new New Year Sugo-Fest, which is going to be starting on the 27th of December and running all the way up until sometime in January. So we'll be going through that. You can see here that we have a new Zoro and a new Sanji here. Now, if you guys saw my previous video, not the one that I uploaded earlier today, the one yesterday about Garp and Sengoku, and talking about how I thought that Legend Shiki could be coming out because the way that the raid, you know, was kind of stated, Legend Shiki would actually help you take down that specific event. However, these units are the units that you are aiming to use to take on the new raid boss. So we'll go through these units right now. Now, there's also a new Sugo-Fest with its structure and everything and the different raid ups. We'll talk about that as well. But we've got the new Sanji and we have the new Zoro. So let's go ahead and talk about Sanji first. So Sanji, you can see he is a 5-star character. He does not have an unevolved version. You can only pull him as a 5-star. You can see here that his ID is 5020. He is the global first unit, and it actually states that in here as well, that it's the first unit to arrive here on the global and French versions of the game. So here we have Sanji. His captain ability will boost strength and quick characters attack by 2.75 times. Very good to start off with. And a 1.3 times HP boost. Really, really great boost. Makes their strength and quick slots have matching slot effects, drastically reduce chances of landing on a psi slot, which is really weird. And if one or more of each strength or quick and psi type is on the crew, boost the chain multiply growth rate by 1.5 times. That's really weird. So he boosts strength and quick, but if you have a strength, quick, and a psi type on your crew, he will go ahead and boost the chain by 1.5. He's pretty powerful. You can get some pretty high damage output just from him as a captain. That's pretty fantastic, as well as making strength and quick beneficial for strength and quick. Really good captain effect for just a regular 5-star character. Now, his special ability maxes at 15 turns, drastically reduce a portion of each enemy's dealt damage that exceeds 6,000. So he applies a 6,000 damage limiter to your crew for 1 turn. He will then change all slots, including block, into quick, which will be beneficial for strength and quick. And if the enemy has immunity or delay to status effects, so like a debuff protector or a delay protector, he boosts strength and quick character slot effects by 2 times for 2 turns. And if they don't have that, then it's just going to be a 1.75 boost for 2 turns. Wow, like this is such an amazing unit. And on top of this, he also has a crewmate ability, which will go ahead and say that set all crew slots to recovery at the start of the quest. Now, he himself doesn't state about anything about treating recovery as beneficial, but Zoro actually has that specific crewmate ability. But all round, Sanji's actually a really solid unit. I'm really happy with how he's actually been made. The artwork itself looks fantastic. I think that they did a really good job here. But let's talk about Zoro, which I think a lot of people are going to be excited for as well. We get a brand new Zoro. He's a strength / a powerhouse unit, and his captain effect will boost strength and quick characters attack by 2.75 and a 1.3 HP boost. Makes their strength and quick have matching slot effects, drastically reduce chances of landing on an int slot, and if one or more of each strength, quick, and int is on the crew, boost chain multiply growth rate by 1.5. So literally the exact same captain effect, except that instead of being a psi character on your crew, you have to have an int character on your crew. Either way, both of them are going to be used definitely to beat Sengoku and Garp relatively easily with the way that they're structured. I think that Sanji would be a bit better, obviously because he's a quick unit, and it states that in the boss fight, he turns into a strength unit. So I feel like Sanji would be the better unit to use, especially because if you are running a team like that, you could run someone like Treasure Map Ace, who gives you a full board of strength orbs, and you can get the type boost for all those 3 colors as well. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. If you get, I think Sanji will be the best unit in terms of these two for taking on this event. Now, his special ability for Zoro will go ahead and lock your crew slots for 1 turn, change Dex and Quick slots into matching, and if the enemy has immunity, so a debuff protector or a delay protector, boost the attack of Strength and Quick by 2 times for 2 turns, or 1.75 otherwise. Again, really, really good special ability at a 15-turn cooldown. He does have the crewmate ability, makes recovery slots have matching slot effects, so it works really well with Sanji. Sanji makes all your orbs recovery, and Zoro will make them matching. So I guess they kind of want you to go ahead and use, like, I don't really understand how they're trying to make this work, because you need to have both of them as your crewmates to get the sailor effects to activate, but you kind of want to use them as a captain as well, because they're going to be very, very good as a captain. But either way, I'm pretty excited for these characters. They look really, really good. But let's talk about the Sugo-Fest itself. So let's go to the event information here. It says the new Sanji and Zoro are here early for the English and French version. So they're definitely going to be arriving on JP and Korean version sometime in the future. Not really too sure when. Probably when Garp and Sengoku arrive on the other versions, that's when these characters will likely debut for those versions. Seasonal special characters are also here, and they're rate boosted. So the characters that are available in the current Sugo-Fest on Global are also going to be in this Sugo-Fest, it looks like. What's more, all special characters will join at max level, and in the Sugo-Fest, all wanted posters are going to be 4-star or better, of course. And character information, it goes through a little bit more information about, you know, just the characters that we already talked about, being the Sanji and the Zoro. Now, as we stated, this is going to be like a multi-part Sugo-Fest, and you can see it starts on December 27th, and it will end at January 2nd. Now, Part 1 and Part 2, they actually have multiple reoccurring events on Global, so you can see the 27th to the 29th, and then you've got on the December 31st to January 1st for Part 1, and then for Part 2, the 29th to the 31st, and then you have from Jan 1st to Jan 2nd. It's really confusing the way they've done it, but it basically means, like, it goes from Part 1, and then it goes to Part 2, and then Part 1 and Part 2. It just goes back and forth a couple times. So we'll have to wait and see what actually happens after the 2nd of January, but this is exactly what's going to be arriving straight after the Merry Christmas Sugo-Fest. Now, the structure of this Sugo-Fest is interesting. So for the first multi-pull on Part 1 is going to be 30 gems, which is great. The second and fifth multi-pull, the last wanted poster, is guaranteed to be a special character with unlocked powers. Now, the thing about this is what I'm really not happy about is that you are not guaranteed to get Zoro or Sanji on the second multi-pull. I feel like if they did that, they would definitely get people to be pulling here. I would be very tempted to pull here. I wouldn't suggest any of you guys to be pulling here, but just for me personally, and how I spend money on this game, I would be kind of tempted to pull if they were guaranteed on the second multi-pull, but because they're not, I would just stay away from this Sugo-Fest. There's really no reason to be pulling here. Now, it says on the third and sixth multi-pull, you're guaranteed a Sugo-Fest exclusive, but on the fourth multi, you have to go to 4 multi-pulls to get your guaranteed character. And you can see on Part 1, on the fourth multi, is going to be Sanji. And then conversely, on the other part of the Sugo-Fest, on Part 2, it's going to be Zoro guaranteed on the 4th multi. Now, the 8th multi is going to be guaranteed to be a Sugo-Fest exclusive, plus recommended Sugo-Fest exclusives will be rate boosted. Again, why do they do this? Why isn't it a guaranteed rate boosted character? Again, I always say that. And again, it's going to be a max special legend on the 10th multi, but it's not a guaranteed rate boost legend. It's only just further rate boosted, which again, I've already stated that in a couple of videos now, that's really, really bad that they do that. Now, for Part 2, as we said before, 30 gems for the first multi, 2nd and 5th is your guaranteed special character, and the 3rd and 6th is a legend, 4th is going to be Zoro on Part 2, and obviously 8th and the 10th are the exact same, being a character, a legend, and you're going to get max special on the 10th multi-pull. Now, for Part 1 of this Sugo, you've got some pretty good characters rated up. You've got Guild Zoro, the legend Nami, Nico Robin, Kung Fu Luffy, V2 Fujitora, you've got Dogstorm, Magellan, Hody Jones, and then for Part 2, you've got Gear 4 Luffy, you've got V2 Sanji, Katakuri, Garp, Judge, Cat Viper, Buggy, Aokiji, V1. Definitely Part 2. I think a lot of people, I would suggest, if you're going to be pulling on any of the parts, Part 2 is 100% better, but as I said, just do not pull here. It's just not really worth it. It's not even a double legend rate Sugo-Fest, and as I said, you have to do 4 multis to get just one of them. Obviously, their rate boosts are going to be pretty significant, I would think, so I still wouldn't really recommend pulling here. Now, down the bottom of this information post is something very, very interesting. So the first dot point here, it says only the 5-star versions of the Sugo-Fest exclusive characters can be recruited. Post-evolution versions of these characters are not recruitable. That is fantastic. So for people who have been playing for a while now, where this update was introduced, where you could be pulling 6-star versions of Legend, no one likes it. Like, literally no one likes this feature. So I am happy that they've stated it here for this event, but I just hope for future Sugo-Fest that they don't do it. And the reason for that is when you get a dupe Legend, right, you can still potentially use a dupe Legend, even if it's an unevolved version of it, because you can use that for, like, low-cost missions and stuff like that, and for ranking missions where they have a cost restriction. So the fact that they brought out a feature where you could pull the 6-star versions means that even if you did pull a dupe and it was evolved, it was kind of pointless at that point. Like, you literally couldn't use it. I mean, you can feed it to the race shop, or you could use it for limit break, but if you get a dupe Legend of a character that's really good, you definitely want to keep the unevolved version of that for the cost-restrictive missions. And when they introduced this feature, it made a lot of people angry. Definitely, I was very upset about it. But they've stated it here that you can pull the 5-star versions of Legends. So I'm really happy that they've done this. I just hope it continues on in future Sugo-Fests. So yeah, now that we've gone through the information on the Sugo-Fest, really left field, like obscure thing that they've put into the game, it is exciting though, because it is more global first content, which is what we've been asking for, is more stuff that hasn't arrived on any version of the game. It gets us excited for just events that haven't arrived anywhere else yet, and we get to experience it for the first time. I think it's a really cool event. However, before we end this video, I want to quickly discuss the brand new Clash that is going to be arriving on the 27th? I think, yeah, the 27th of December, which is when the Sugo-Fest goes live, which is going to be the Clash Garp and Sengoku. Now, if we click on the tips menu, you can see what you can actually drop from this raid. You can get actually cotton candy, which is pretty good, but you can actually click on the recommended recruitables, not the boss character, but if you tap on the icon of the recommended recruitables, we can get information on these characters. So, here we have the dual Garp and Sengoku, which is absolutely amazing. We can actually see them in-game now. Now, we can see their captain effect. This is the fused captain effect. After you use the special and you combine them, this is what you get. Boosts fighter characters' HP by 1.2, attack by 3 times, boosts own attack by 4 times, and makes fighter characters' dex, int, recovery, and tandem beneficial. That is a fantastic free-to-play captain effect, being a 3 times fighter booster, 4 times to himself, very reminiscent of 6+ Cavendish actually, who boosts strength dex quick by 3 times, himself by 4 times, very reminiscent of that. It's actually kind of funny, if you look at his captain effect, it's Golden Lion Quilling strength of 2 men. That's pretty cool, obviously going up against Shiki the Golden Lion, which is why I thought that Legend Shiki would be arriving here. They've definitely just thrown a wrench in this one, like this is crazy. But captain effect is fantastic. I'm really happy with this free-to-play captain effect. We can actually switch this and go to Sengoku. So this is Sengoku's captain effect. Now, keep in mind that this is the unevolved version of the character. They may have slight changes in their captain effect once they evolve. That has definitely happened with raid bosses before. They have a weaker captain effect, but then when you evolve them, it becomes much stronger. So Sengoku's captain effect, as it stands right now, is a 2.25 times attack boost to fighters, and a 1.2 times HP to fighters, and makes int beneficial to all fighters, which is actually a pretty okay captain effect. You might say that, you know, it's a little bit of a weak attack boost, but we'll go through why this is actually not too bad in a little bit. Now, we go over to Garp. Garp's captain effect is going to be 1.2 health, like Sengoku, and it will double fighters' attack, so it's a little bit worse than Sengoku, but he also boosts his own attack by 2.5, so he's definitely more central to himself, and also makes dex orbs beneficial to fighters. Now, you might be saying, you know, those specific multipliers are pretty low, and I would definitely agree. Those multipliers are extremely low, but one cool thing about these characters with dual units in general is that they have a switching effect. So when you switch between Sengoku and Garp, you get a different ability that will activate. When you switch between them, boosts fighters' attack by 1.2 times and give himself a matching orb. So this means that Sengoku's captain effect goes up to, I think it's like 2.7 times now, and then Garp goes up to 2.4 times attack to fighters and 3 times attack to himself. So if you just keep switching every single turn, the attack multiplier is actually pretty decent, honestly. And then it even goes even further than that with his special ability. So the special ability of Garp and Sengoku is going to remove all beneficial effects. Very interesting. And then he's also going to remove 2 turns of despair. and greatly boost fighter characters' attack and slot effects for 1 turn. So as we know right now, this is a 1.75 times attack and 1.75 times orb boost to fighters, and also becomes Sengoku and Garp for 3 turns. Like, that's really, really interesting, because a lot of the other free-to-play dual units that we've received, when you activate their special to become the dual unit, typically the dual unit effect only lasts for 1 turn. As we've seen with the legend units like Whitebeard and Marco and Luffy and Ace, when you use their special, they become the dual unit for 3 turns. And with this free-to-play character, he is also a 3-turn fuse, which is amazing. That's just so goddamn good. I'm really happy with how they've structured these characters. You guys should be seeing on the side of the video right now the full evolved artwork. They've done a really great job with that as well. But I'm excited, man. They've had some really cool stuff to the game right now, and I'm excited. You know, this is some really interesting stuff for global. Hopefully we get more global first exclusive content in the future as well. But as I said, on the 27th, this raid will be going live. I'll be making another video on the channel breaking down the whole raid so you guys know what to expect. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.